The first time I saw her, I froze. Not out of fear, exactly, though that was part of it, but because nothing in my life had prepared me for a being like her. She stood in the shadows of the docking bay, her tall, lithe frame glinting under the harsh, artificial lights. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, and her eyes, oh, those eyes, burned like molten silver. Every instinct screamed danger, yet a strange, inexplicable curiosity anchored me to the spot. I had been sent to survey uncharted sectors near the Veil Nebula, documenting life forms and anomalies for the Interstellar Council. But nothing in the mission briefing had warned me about vampires. And certainly not alien vampires. My communicator buzzed insistently, a reminder that I had no time for hesitation. But I couldn't move. She tilted her head, a slow, deliberate gesture, as though sensing my paralysis. Her long, silvery hair swayed with the artificial breeze of the docking bay. For a moment, she said nothing. Then she spoke, not in words I understood, but in a voice that resonated directly inside my skull. "You are different." Her words startled me. I stepped back, tripping over a crate, my panic rising in a tidal wave. My mouth opened before my brain could intervene, and I blurted something I instantly regretted. You have a nice mass." The words hung in the air like a comet, glittering in their absurdity. Time seemed to slow. Her eyes narrowed, and I felt my face burn hotter than the nebula outside. I could see her fangs glinting, a subtle, predatory smile forming. I had no idea what to expect. Rage? Attack? Instant obliteration? Instead, she laughed. Not a human laugh, not even a sound that belonged to any species I had catalogued. It was a soft, melodious vibration that seemed to ripple through the metal walls of the docking bay. My panic shifted into disbelief. "You are audacious," she said, the translation module finally catching her words. "Few dare speak so freely and poorly in my presence." I swallowed hard. I panicked. I didn't mean. She raised a hand, silencing me. "No matter. Your honesty is amusing, unusual, rare." Her eyes studied me, piercing through every layer of my thoughts. Most humans would beg, grovel, or flee. You complimented me, recklessly. I felt my knees weaken. I didn't mean to be reckless. I was scared. "Ah," she said, her smile widening. "Fear can be enlightening." That was the beginning of an improbable alliance. Over the next weeks, I discovered that her name was Silvara, a member of an ancient vampire lineage who had survived across star systems, thriving in shadows and negotiating power quietly among the galaxy's most dangerous factions. Humans, she explained, were an anomaly, fragile, emotional, yet unpredictable and, sometimes, astonishingly brave. My blunder, the panic compliment, had marked me in her memory, a curiosity she intended to explore. I spent time on her ship, a vessel that seemed alive, its walls pulsating with a faint crimson glow. Silvara moved like liquid, silent, graceful, every motion precise and deliberate. Yet she welcomed me, tested me, and at times teased me mercilessly about my human awkwardness. I learned that alien vampires were not mindless predators. They were strategists, historians, and warriors, with senses that transcended normal perception. One night, as the ship drifted near a rogue asteroid belt, Silvara initiated a training session. I was to learn defensive maneuvers, not for her sake, but for my own. Her speed was staggering. She could anticipate my reactions before I even thought of them. And yet, she would occasionally let me land a minor strike, watching my surprise with silver eyes that glinted in the ship's ambient light. Not bad for a human, she murmured after one particularly clumsy attempt. I chuckled nervously. I guess panic makes me unpredictable? Her laughter was soft, approving, almost intimate. Perhaps. Or foolish. The line is thin. Then came the first real threat. Pirates from the Zarnak Syndicate had tracked us to the asteroid belt, seeking Silvara's vessel and the secrets it contained. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and cornered. My human instincts screamed retreat. Silvara, however, did not panic. Her senses mapped the battlefield, her strategy unfolding faster than my mind could process. She gestured, and suddenly, I was part of a plan I barely understood. I operated the ship's defenses, following her precise instructions, my panic now a tool rather than a liability. When the lead pirate ship attempted to board us, Silvara moved like shadow incarnate, striking down intruders with a speed that blurred the line between reality and myth. And every time I hesitated, I remembered my first blunder, my panic, my human imperfection, and somehow that had endeared me to her. Hours later, when the threat was neutralized, Silvara approached me. Her expression was unreadable. You survived, she said simply. Few humans would. I exhaled shakily. I guess my panicked compliment earned me some luck? A smile flickered across her face, almost imperceptible. Luck, perhaps. Or perhaps the universe favors those who dare speak, even foolishly. Over time, Silvara became my mentor and, unexpectedly, my friend. I documented her culture, her lineage, her philosophies, learning not just about alien vampires, but about courage, trust, and the unpredictable value of human audacity. My panic had shattered the usual boundaries between species. Where others would have been attacked, I was observed. Where others would have fled, I had endured. Months later, we were ambushed again, this time by the Interstellar Council itself. They had discovered Silvara's ship and deemed it a threat to galactic order. Our odds were worse than before, and I could feel my human fear rising to a crescendo. I glanced at Silvara. She raised an eyebrow. Your panic is useless now. Focus. I hesitated. And then, without thinking, I repeated the only instinctual act I knew might distract her. You have a really tactical aura? She stared at me, eyes wide for the first time, before erupting into uncontrollable laughter. Humans, she said, shaking her head, I cannot decide if you are insane or brilliant. Her laughter was a weapon in itself. The Council forces, unaccustomed to our coordination, and perhaps distracted by her strange, mesmerizing presence, made a tactical error. Silvara seized the moment, moving with precision that no human could hope to replicate. We escaped, weaving through asteroid fields and dodging patrols until the stars themselves seemed to fold around us. Afterward, Silvara stood beside the viewport, silent. I approached cautiously. You weren't angry about my compliment? She shook her head, her silver hair cascading like liquid metal. Anger is for the predictable. You are not predictable. It struck me then that my panic, my flawed human reactions, had become a strange form of currency in her world. It had saved me more than once, earned her amusement, and, most unexpectedly, earned her trust. I realized that humanity's strength was not in perfection, but in unpredictability, in audacity, in the courage to speak even when terrified. Years later, when I returned to the human sectors to report my findings, I could never fully convey what I had experienced. Silvara remained at large, a legend whispered across star systems. Humans debated her existence, her morality, her intentions, but none could grasp the truth, that a single panicked compliment had bridged the gap between fear and alliance, between predator and human.